Ever since Elbaf has begun, I'm starting to see pretty much every chapter one of my favorite dynamics in all of One Piece. And that dynamic is between Nami and Sanji. Elbaf has been really cool so far, and with the reveal of Loki in the latest chapter, I can't wait for what that guy has in store for us. I already think he's cooler and stronger than Kaido. Okay, some of you guys that got triggered. Listen, I may or may not be trolling. But even with all that Loki stuff, the giant stuff, the parts that made me enjoy these chapters the most are Sanji and Nami moments. Partly because Nami's my favorite female character and Sanji's my favorite male character, but that's besides the point. In chapter 1227, Nami expresses to Sanji that she was so scared Sanji-kun, and Sanji also expresses that he was worried about her, dressed as a knight, saving her, calling her his beloved. Like, you guys gotta see the little hints. So that's how things started in Elbaf. In chapter 1228, Sanji ends up carrying Nami and makes a funny joke while she's in his arms, and then he ends up flying off the ledge with her, and then she ends up yelling in fear. Sanji and Nami are then later on seen cowering in the back while the crew talk to some guy on a bug, which is a callback to their fear of bugs pre-time skip, and it's kind of funny. In the same chapter, you can also see them in the back being goofy together, humming and just pretending like they don't know what the fuck they just heard about people fucking up the island. Okay, why am I already swearing? My bad, guys. I don't like to let my inner, I'm not gonna say that either. And then later on that chapter, Sanji ends up carrying Nami around the island on his back, using his sword as a seat for her, being a real gentleman. People just say Sanji's perverted and wants to grope women all day. Explain this. And lastly, in that same chapter, they also have a funny gag moment with Sanji. But wait, there's more. In the recent chapter, a lot of people didn't recognize this, but when they entered Elbaf, the climate was cold and snowing, as we know, and Sanji casually gives this jacket to Nami. Like, we don't even get to see that whole interaction, that's just something he knows he gotta do. All these moments had me thinking about the entirety of One Piece, of us seeing Sanji and Nami together. It gave me an idea on what Sanji and Nami's relationship could really mean, and how it will have importance in the future. And I think it's setting up for something. Thank you for all the recent subscribers, by the way, especially for the people who subscribe and they see I don't upload and think I'm still worth subscribing to. Thank you guys a lot. I've been out of the country for a month, so things should be getting better, I hope. So subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video and for more content. Before I speak on Sanji and Nami, I first want to mention that it seems like Oda is making Ifrit Jambe like Diable Jambe. And what I mean by this is that throughout the post-time skip, Oda has portrayed Diable Jambe as Sanji's go-to fighting technique in practically any situation. It got to a point where I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Diable Jambe started to look kinda weak. I think we can all agree there was countless scenarios where Diable Jambe just wasn't really portrayed as something capable of taking down a strong enemy, or even sometimes mediocre enemies. Oda deciding to have Sanji spam Diable Jambe post-time skip instead of using it like a trump card in a way sorta like he did pre-time skip, sorta, meant that an inevitable power-up was due for Sanji, which we all know to be Ifrit Jambe. I mention this because Oda could be doing the same thing right now, starting to treat Ifrit Jambe like he did Diable Jambe. He saw his strongest attack be used casually on Luffy like it was nothing, and early on in Elbaf, he used Ifrit Jambe on a cat just cause he could. And in one of the recent chapters, it seemed like he used Ifrit Jambe to destroy the net. People are saying this is confusing because Sanji's eyebrow isn't switched, so how could he be using Ifrit Jambe? I'm still gonna assume it's Ifrit Jambe because if I see lightning, I'm not associating that with Diable Jambe because Diable Jambe never had lightning to begin with, so I'm just gonna assume it's Ifrit. But I say this because we are slowly seeing Oda turn Ifrit Jambe into Sanji's casual fighting mode to where we see it very often on every enemy, meaning it's probably gonna lose its portrayal as something very powerful, especially since the enemies he faces will be stronger. You guys know that one Green Lantern meme?
Stand back and peep the light show. Green Lantern's got this.
He's probably gonna start using Ifrit Jambe on his future enemies, and like that's what's gonna happen to him. Meaning he has to get a power up eventually, which we're going to assume is Conquerors Haki. Whoa guys, don't freak out. Like you kind of have to give an explanation if you're gonna assume something that crazy, right? Listen, I made a whole video on this. If I incorporate that video into this video, it's gonna lose value from that video. It's gonna make this video 30 minutes long, and it's gonna sound like a repeat of a video I already made. So you guys go click that and go check it out and come back to this video. I always say Sanji will unlock Conquerors Haki, but I never thought about how he would do it. This chapter made me think about this. Part of me believes Sanji's relationship with Nami could be what triggers Sanji's Conquerors Haki in the future. You guys always troll, I say hockey, like hockey, like you know Wayne Gretzky. Shut up, man. Oh, haki. I'm gonna just start saying haki. I don't care. It makes it easier for me, okay? Sanji's specific liking to Nami has been something specifically highlighted and emphasized by Oda repeatedly through the 1000 plus chapters of One Piece. Not even him just liking her the most, they have the best synergy and relationship between any other girl Sanji Sanji has encountered. No matter how much people want to be like, Sanji saves for every girl, he'll treat them all great, blah blah blah, and treats them nicely, which he does, but he legitimately loves and has the best relationship with Nami over any other girl, and that's been established. These guys have moments, like really good moments that I'm not going to talk about, but you guys already know them. Some examples off the top of my head is when he wasn't geeking over pudding as much over time in Whole Cake Island. You know, the girl who was finally matching Sanji's freak and intensity. He eventually became sort of nonchalant towards her, but he still lost his shit whenever he saw Nami. And Nami's impact as a woman to Sanji was already portrayed to be way higher than Pudding's in this arc. Someone out there is going to be like, wait, this guy's talking bullshit, because wasn't Pudding the same girl that had this guy crying in the rain? He couldn't even light his cigarette and shit. He was crying like a bitch. Tell me you don't understand that scene without telling me you don't understand that scene. After the Luffy vs Sanji incident, it highlighted their strong relationship. Nami implies she will punish Sanji for essentially breaking her heart with what he did to Luffy, because up until this point, all she knew Sanji as was the guy that would do anything for her and would stray away from ever making her feel any type of discomfort or sadness or fear. He would do anything not to hurt her, and he's been portraying that to her throughout the entirety of One Piece. That's why that scene was highlighted. That's why she slapped him. That's why that dialogue was said after, because that scene was very impactful between them. And the reason it's so impactful and that scene is highlighted is because of their relationship. You can't swap out Robin, for example, and Nami in that situation, and she would have said the same type of shit. Sanji, I won't forgive you, blah 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 blah. Even after all that, you know Nami can't stay mad at the kid. She says she won't forgive Sanji for making her feel that way, and that she will bring him back no matter what the cost, even though she felt that way. Sanji saying he has rules to his kingdom that all relate to hurting Nami, and if you break them, you are going to die. He says that to S.I.Q. He lists like 3 damn rules about Nami. Robin saying if Nami yells, there will always be a certain someone coming to her aid. They don't say shit like this about anyone. Technically, he would probably do that for a lot of females, but these things are highlighted about Nami. That's the point. They have many moments showcasing their relationship, or Sanji straight up being her knight in shining armor throughout many moments in One Piece. Like, there's countless moments. But the recent arc pretty much confirms that Nami has the biggest impact on Sanji when we're speaking on females, of course. And I quote, Sanji says, anyone that scares or hurts Nami gets the death penalty. Something like that. The crazy part about this is that he said this not once, but 3 goddamn times, and I think he's probably gonna say it more in the future. And it's only when he's protecting Nami. First time was against S.I.Q. to protect Nami. Second time was against S.I.Q. to protect Nami once again. And last one was in the recent Elbaf arc to protect Nami against a cat. Now this is definitely foreshadowing for something. Oda doesn't make repeated themes within a character for no reason. Some people believe this is for Sanji eventually losing his emotions and having a heart of ice like Queen said, or like his brothers do, which I'll be honest is the more likely interpretation, which I could also make a video on if you guys want. But that's just too simple. I kind of want to get a step ahead of Oda and think outside the box like he usually does. And I want to interpret the more riskier route. Something that most people aren't thinking. What if this relationship Sanji has with Nami that's constantly being emphasized to us by Oda, even more recently, is foreshadowing for how he triggers his Conquerors Haki in the future? What if Oda wants us to really see how much Sanji loves Nami, so it actually makes sense in the future why he would crash out for her? Sanji has always been there to save Nami in some type of way throughout the series. Not being able to rescue her specifically is something he won't be able to live with as a man. He'll probably want to kill himself. And that's not a crazy plotline that Oda can't explore for Sanji triggering Conquerors Haki. And I think that would be something easily he could write within his character that the fans would be happy with and would make sense. Think about it. If Sanji were to get Conquerors Haki revealed, it would have to be in the same way as Luffy, sorta. Luffy and Marineford used Conquerors Haki by accident because he was across the island and didn't want Ace to die, that he managed to use it in that moment as like a crash out to like say stop, like you can't kill my brother, like because he was losing his mind, he didn't know what to do. What if that exact scenario happened with Sanji? Like for example, you see how he went on a solo mission to save Nami from Absalom, and the man was essentially trying to marry her, changed her clothes, saw her naked, and even pressed her against the wall in the bathing house. And did I mention he was trying to marry Nami? Sanji would already be the most furious he's ever been in this hypothetical moment. Similar stakes like that, but just now Nami's life would be in danger for some reason. She could be in a life-death situation, and Sanji being helpless could trigger a similar moment to Luffy. This could maybe happen in Elbaf if you think about it. Loki is a lover boy type, we know this because he tried to press Lola. Now he also killed his father and he's the prince of Elbaf, so that means he should be the king of Elbaf, or he's gonna want to be, and the king needs a queen. if he sees Nami, who's portrayed to be like, she's not, obviously she's not Bo Hancock, but like she's like portrayed to be like the prettiest woman to these people. If Nami goes to an island, they're gonna worship her like she's a goddess, like, you know what I mean? And what if Loki sees her and like, yo, whoa, I need this shit. And he captures her and locks her up somewhere. My question to Loki though is like, bro. And that somehow leads to a plot with Sanji rescuing her, but it doesn't even have to be this arc. That's just a random scenario I made up. Sanji always takes pride in being able to protect women. If he can't protect the one he loves the most from a life or death situation, it might cause him to crash out like Luffy did with Ace and trigger his Conquerors Haki, where he knocks out some goons who are around her or like causes a scene to delay time. Kind of like how Luffy did. He didn't save Ace with that Conquerors Haki blast. He just knocked out the soldiers, which delayed time for his execution. This love for Nami and this overemphasis on what he does to people who hurt Nami, and just the relationship in general, could be set up for something greater, is all I wanted to mention. He gets Conquerors Haki. I think this is the way to show it for a character like Sanji, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. Am I cooked? Let me know. It'll be fun to see who gets mad at this video. Probably the Zoro fans. I don't know. Probably the Nami fans are probably gonna be like, he's shipping. Fuck you. Whatever, man. Good night. Have a good day, guys. Bye.